Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, everybody. I wanted to do a really quick video just to explain some of the biggest differences between teaching online ESL, like VIPKid, and teaching in a brick and mortar classroom. Now, I need to do a quick disclaimer. We're right now in April 2020. We're in the middle of the coronavirus craziness, and even classroom brick and mortar teachers are teaching online. But I want to just kind of describe the differences between those two things because I know some classroom teachers, with everything that's going on, are kind of thinking about online teaching and is it for you and what's the difference? And I just want to kind of lay it out clearly for you. So, the first, I'll talk with some of the pros of teaching with VIPKid compared to brick and mortar class, and then some of the cons too, because every job has its pros and cons. So the first thing I wanted to say about teaching online VIPKid compared to a classroom is it's all the best parts of teaching. You actually get to focus on teaching new concepts to your students and building their relationship with the student through the screen. And it's none of the worst parts of teaching. And if you've been a brick and mortar classroom teacher, you understand what I'm saying. There's no lesson planning, there's no data meetings, there's no report cards, there's no grading, there's no observations, there's no IEPs, there's no like nothing that is the busy work of teaching. It's not there. It's just the fun of actually teaching. And that's one of the things that really drew me to this in the first place. It's basically tutoring, one on one tutoring. And you get to really focus on your student and what they know, what they need to know, how to make them improve their English ability. And it's really just the fun parts of teaching. The second other big thing I thought that was a huge pro of teaching online, like with VIPKid compared to being a brick and mortar teacher, is the schedule. Now, this is like, it's so day and night, you can almost not compare them. With brick and mortar teaching, you have to be in the classroom, obviously, Monday through Friday, 8 to 4, and the schedule is not negotiable. I mean, in different schools that I've worked in, even like asking for a week off to take a vacation is really not okay. Or you have to fill out a lot of paperwork, you have to write sub plans, you have to find a good sub. It's very strict. I mean, and that's the nature of the job. You have to be there for your students. You know that when you're signing up for it, right? Right. But then with online teaching like VIPKid, it is completely flexible. Like there's no requirements. There's no minimum or maximum of number of classes that you teach. So you just completely make your schedule up. So that to me was one of the biggest difference when I switched from brick and mortar teaching to online teaching. It just felt so free. Like if I didn't want to work on a Friday, I'd just close my schedule and I didn't have to report to anybody and I didn't have to ask anybody. I didn't have to write sub plans. It was very weird at first, to be honest, and it was very freeing. So those are some of the pros of teaching with VIPKid compared to teaching in a brick and mortar classroom. If you are a brick and mortar teacher and you're thinking about switching to being a VIPKid teacher, online teacher, it will be a pretty smooth transition for you. You already have a lot of the skill set. You already have a lot of the relationship building with kids. You know how to talk to kids. And that will go pretty easily for you. Now, I want to be honest that there are some big changes or cons between VIPKid and being a brick and mortar teacher. And the biggest difference, and you really can't compare this to, they're like apples and oranges, is the pay. So when you're a brick and mortar teacher in a classroom job, you have a contract, you have a salary, and you get paid, every week regardless of however many hours you work. And that's just the nature of having a salaried job. It's wonderful most of the time. And then some weeks it's not great because you're working 80 hours and you're only getting paid your normal 40 hours, right? That's just how it goes. But with VIPKid, you only get paid for when you work, obviously. It's a contract position and you're your own boss, you're an independent contractor. And so a lot of the cons have to do with that. The cons are you won't make hourly as much as you did with brick and mortar teaching. It's just how it works. And they don't take insurance out or retirement out. So you have to handle all that, or taxes. That's the other big thing. You have to handle taxes on your own. So for me, I had taught in a public school, brick and mortar public school for 10 years. And that was a shift for me because I knew what I was going to be making once I got my base pay and everything with VIPKid. And then I have to kind of mentally adjust, oh, but this is not my full amount that I'll be taking home because I need to take taxes out. I need to plan for retirement. I need to have insurance, all of those things. So just keep that in mind. I mean, that's kind of just, all of these are like opportunity cost, right? Like you get the incredible flexibility, which is really what a lot of teachers are longing for after being in such a strict schedule for so long. But yes, you don't get paid as much and you have to deal with your taxes and your insurance and everything. The other thing, a big difference with VIPKid and being a brick and mortar teacher is you don't have coworkers necessarily. It's a pretty independent job. You just are on your computer one-on-one with a student. And depending how you feel about coworkers, that could be a pro or a con. I had wonderful coworkers in every job that I worked with. And I really, really missed the coworker aspect when I became an online teacher because really it's like just me. I wake up early before my family's awake. I come downstairs here in my basement and teach. And then I'm on with my day with my children, which is wonderful. But I had to purposefully try to find some coworkers. And I did that a couple ways. One way is YouTube. All these people on YouTube that are making VIPKid videos, they are kind of like my coworkers. And we get online occasionally after our classes and we talk, and talk about classes. There's a great teacher community on Instagram and Facebook. So you just have to find your people. Another great way to find coworkers, can I put that in quotes, coworkers, is to go to a meetup. There's meetups not during the coronavirus, but under normal circumstances. There's usually about a meetup a month of teachers, and you just kind of have to search it out and find it and be brave and go meet some new teachers. So that's how I have felt that need for coworkers because I really think you need coworkers, even if you're an independent contractor, because it gives you ideas, people to bounce your ideas off, and just people to understand the weird job that we work. The other thing, one more quick thing before I sign off here. If you are a brick and mortar teacher and you're going to switch to be a VIPKid online teacher, a lot of your skills will transfer, but there is a difference. There's a difference and there's a bit of a learning curve. So you'll need to learn a few ESL techniques that are specific to ESL. Things like speaking slowly, that's a learned skill. Things like, they call it total physical response. That's like waiting for the student to answer, counting out your words, and just different little techniques that online teaching uses. And then the other thing is you have to get used to technology. Now, most, especially public school teachers, you already are used to technology. You're forced to use it. You have to be kind of always learning and always learning. But with becoming a VIPKid teacher, you really have to just be comfortable with technology. You have to be ready to try new things. So those are some of the biggest differences. Hi, Kelly. Some of the biggest differences between brick and mortar teaching and becoming an online teacher. If you're considering becoming an online teacher and you've been a brick and mortar teacher, these are some of the things I hope you'll think through and consider. Especially when you think about you'll have a wonderfully flexible schedule. But again, you're an independent contractor and you have to work for the hours that you get paid. You don't just have a paycheck that you just expect. It's a little bit different situation. And don't forget, of course, it's wonderful. You don't have to do lesson planning. You don't have to report cards and but you do have to take out your own taxes. You do have to worry about your own insurance and retirement and those kinds of things. So I hope that gives you kind of an honest comparison between the two different careers, both teaching, both in the same vein, both in the same, kind of sector, but very different careers, very different careers. All right, everybody, I hope you have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.